Hello, hello. Welcome back. We are continuing our top five series, and today we have a special one. Not only are we not going to do a top five, we're actually going to do a top eight because it's our running backs to close us out. Because everybody knows this 2025 class is just so stacked with running backs. We're all loving it. We all want them. We're going to talk about them tonight. We got a lot of rookie drafts going on right now, so this is going to help you out, especially once you get into those deeper third, fourth rounds to see how you're going to go. We have a special guest with us tonight. We have our boy Mick, aka Dirty Landry. Mick, welcome in. What's up,
Thanks
buddy?
for having me. I'm very happy to be here. I've heard you guys chopping it up pretty good with the other series, so I want to jump in for the running backs, which is the best of the class right now.
Oh yeah. And as everybody has followed this top five series, we have our man Slayton. Slayton, what's going on, bud?
Oh man, just living it up, man. I'm excited. This is the crown jewel of this class, so I'm excited to get into it and see where we're at.
Oh yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are doing rookie drafts right now, so we all know our consensus. Who our favorites are going to be at the top 2, 3, something like that. But I think when we get deeper down in our 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever like that, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with what we have to say. But it definitely could be those later picks like that could pay off. You never know. We've had some people in the past that 5th round rookie picks that have just taken off and exploded that we've all really liked, like a James Robinson from a handful of years ago. Those kind of guys. But to start us off, we'll go Slayton. We'll just go around the horn here, brother. Give us the number one. We're going to start number one. We're going to go down to number 8 just because it's pretty chalky at the top. So why don't you go and start us off?
So I know it's no surprise to anybody. We got Ashton Genty coming 101.
Whoa!
Drafted 106 to the Raiders. Just an absolute stud when it comes to running back. Overall, a total prospect, bell cow, the breadwinner of the class, if you will. Finalist in the Heisman race, likely so. Most people think that he probably should have won it just by the true magnitude of what he did.
I'm one of a lot of people. I think he got robbed.
And, I've seen some people go out there and put their neck out there and say that he is a better prospect than what Saquon Barkley was coming out. So, anybody that has that type of repertoire coming out, that he's got something nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Mick, what do you got, brother? Who's your number one?
Of course, it's Genty, but okay. Can I just play devil's advocate real quick?
Go ahead.
So, realistically, Genty is kind of going to be an outlier because there aren't many 5'8" backs that have finished RB1 in consecutive seasons. It's not a theory; it's proven. So, my theory is like Devin Singletary. He's 5'7", right? And when you see him on a football field, you think, "Holy shit, that guy's short," right?
Yeah.
So Genty's only an inch taller. So when we get into my third favorite rookie, little spoiler, I like about long speed for like upside. And I don't see I'm nitpicking here. Genty's amazing. He's my RB3 for Dynasty right out the gate without playing a snap. But my only spoiler is 5'8" guy with short legs. Is he really going to have long speed to be able to break away those crazy Saquon runs, those JT runs, those long 70-yard touchdowns? I mean, those 40-yard runs are fine, and he's going to get a lot of those. But that's my only call is a 5'8" guy. He's short. He's a very short running back. But also, did you see this fool with his shirt off when he was catching passes as a pro day? No homo. This fool is just built like a machine. He's going to He's going to be awesome. I have nothing bad to say about Genty. I'm curious on how the 5'8" frame is going to come into play.
Yeah, I mean, because looking at some of our shorter running backs, you're right. I mean, that breakaway, runaway speed, especially at a guy of Genty's stature. He's real stout. He's got tree trunk legs. In the NFL, everybody's fast, so that's the thing. At Boise State, he wasn't really running against lightning fast talent out there, and that's just the reality of it. I've got Genty number one. It's not. I'm not even going to waste anybody's time with that. Everybody, I don't think there's a debate to anybody that could argue that Genty's not the number one this year. And if you are, like, hey, hit us up in the comments. Join us on the show. Like, I'd like to talk to you. I want to know, hey, what are you smoking? But yeah, so we won't even y'all said so much about Genty, and I completely agree with it. I think that offense is going to revolve around him. So you don't take that kind of draft capital and then not feature him, because really at the end of the day they don't have a lot else. Devontae Adams is gone. We got Jacoby Myers there still. You got Brock Bowers. That's pretty much your best passing option, right? Is Brock Bowers. So it's going to be a lot of Bowers, a lot of Genty. All right, so Slayton, who we got number two?
The number two is not going to be much of a surprise to most. Hampton is going to be my guy there. Coming out of UNC, 22 years old, great burst, great physicality, kind of your overall great running back there. He's got the bell cow pedigree for a lot of snaps. I think he had 250 carries for the last 2 years. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 1,500 yards both seasons on that. So he's able to show that he can be durable, which is a big thing for me. Another thing on that is that he can be used in the receiving side. With it being a PPR league, he's definitely going to capitalize on that. My biggest knock on him is that I think that Najee Harris just doesn't go away. You know, there's a lot of speculation that, like, oh, you know, we got the new toy in town, he's just dead. But they don't spend money to bring another guy in, not to do a 1-2. Harbaugh's shown us in the past that he does a 1-2 back. So, I mean, granted, do I think that he has the ability to take over the backfield and run it all and be that bell cow? 100%. But, you know, coach speak, you see it. There's smoke, there's fire. And, you know, there is smoke and fire behind Harris still being a contributor there. So that is another big thing with me. I know they have Vidal still there, Rocket Sanders as well. You know, don't count him out. He looked great. He was a Debbie Darling for a while, and then he kind of floated off into the distance. But I still think that he's got a lot of motion back still left in there. So with that being said, you know, he does have a little bit of a crowded depth chart, but I think he's miles ahead of a lot of those guys, and he will earn that opportunity.
I agree. Hampton's my number two. And all I can say is I think Harbaugh signed Harris without the intention of Hampton being there in the first round. So he wasn't really aware he was going to get him. So it was kind of like, Hampton's here. Well, hell, we're going to take him too. Although we have Najee, that's great. I love Hampton. I think he's going to be awesome. My question to you guys is, let's say they didn't sign Najee and then they just drafted Hampton. How much
wheels up.
How much closer would he be to Genty than his own tier of tier 2?
I think at that point you could have an argument for the top spot if Najee wasn't there.
Yeah. Better offense, better coaching, I would say. Granted, I still like Pete Carroll over there at the Raiders, but at the same time, you know, I think Harbaugh's got a little bit more momentum in that offense. He's got a better running offense there. Granted, I think that Genty's going to have more true carries. He's going to be more utilized as that workhorse because they don't have many passing options out there. But, yeah, I think it would be a lot closer than people would like to admit.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I have is that I can see Hampton being a 40, 45, 50 catch guy at the max, because that offense really doesn't pass to the running back a lot. They do pass. If you look at Dobbins' numbers last year, he didn't play the full assortment of games, and he still had a decent amount of catches, but I don't think the upside for Hampton, whereas you're getting on the McCaffrey level and the guys that are true RB1 seasons, he's not going to have the upside of 60 catches along with 1,200, 1,300 rushing yards. So that's one thing I'm kind of concerned about, but still, he's probably going to have 10 touchdowns, 1,200 rushing yards, 40 catches. Like, he's going to be a stud. I just don't. Do you guys see like a future for RB1 potential, or is that because like RB1 potential are pass catchers plus running backs? It's not your 1-2 down grinder. Nick Chubb was never RB1. JR?
He's going to have to get like just loaded with carries. But the Najee factor, because Najee's not bad. I mean, Najee hasn't been the same guy he was his rookie year, but that's because you had Big Ben was on his last leg, just check down Charlie, as everybody likes to say. And Najee's gonna be, I think, more of a third down back.
I feel like he might be that goal line back too, and that's what scares me a little bit, and that's why I have a little bit of flakiness on that backside. But I could very well see Najee taking all the goal line touches and taking all the fruit.
Yeah, well, and Slayton, like you said, every episode, this top 5 series this is a long-term play.
Yeah.
So they took Amarion Hampton with the draft capital. He's going to be the long-term answer, not Najee Harris. I mean, I get it.
Most
they
definitely.
signed Najee Harris, but that's because they didn't really like what they had.
They didn't even have depth either. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's more of a depth signing than anything. But
yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how Harbaugh's going to use this tandem they have. I mean, Hampton is my number 2 as well, so I'm with both you gentlemen on this. But yeah, I mean, if no Najee, then Hampton would be in that number 1 case. Maybe even like he would be my number 1, only because Genty is going to get a stacked box against him, because every defense knows, okay, all they have is Genty and Bowers. That's true weapons, right? So, any defensive coordinator in the league can scheme against that and lock down that running back, no matter how talented. All right, so on to number 3. Slayton, who you got as number 3?
This is my guy. I'm going to pound the table for this guy over and over. You'll hear me say it every video. RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey is my guy, man. There is something about this guy that is just absolutely electric. The phrase that I heard earlier today that really fit it the best was smoke through a keyhole. This guy can get it done in the photo booth. He's got some breakaway speed that, you get him out in space, he's gone. There's no catching that guy. Granted, it might have been a product of some of the teams that they were playing and that type of stuff, but at the same time, this dude looks absolutely electric. 225 carries the last 2 seasons or more, and 1,400 yards both of those seasons. He can play inside, outside. He can do just about anything on that side, and he can receive, which is a huge, huge plus for me as well. I think with Sean Payton out there, he is a scheming mastermind, and I think he's going to be utilized fantastic in this offense. He's just one of those guys that you watch the tape, you fall in love, you see what there is. Granted, the size is a little bit of a concern, but I mean, he still has that 200 weight to where he's able to be a sizable running back, and he shows that durability. So I'm going to be pounding the table for this guy. I'm going to stick my neck out for this guy, and I've drafted already twice of them. So I will live and die on this sword, my friend.
Hey, I love that. You're putting your money where your mouth is. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Mick, how do you feel about RJ Harvey?
I was ecstatic because he just fell to me at the 201 in one of my dynasty leagues, and I did not think I was going to get him because I have him more or less in the 109, 110. Like, I thought he was going there for sure. And when he fell to me, I was jumping for joy because I'm right there with you. Like, he's my number 4, but RJ Harvey, I think, can debatably probably be the RB2 in this class in terms of points per game next to Genty.
He's really got not much of a competition there, and that's a lot of the reason why I have him at 3 is because he's got, Estime there, and he's got McLaughlin, and both of those guys, I mean, they're all right. They're a nice change of pace back, but I think that Harvey's got that speed. He's got that tape. He is going to be so much fun to watch.
I think everybody's looking at the Sean Payton factor too, and how he used Alvin Kamara, and that's what gets me excited about RJ Harvey. Like, that's plain and simple. That's what gets me excited about RJ Harvey is the fact that he could be our next Alvin Kamara. I mean, Alvin Kamara was good coming out of college, but he wasn't like this game breaker or nothing like that. He made his living catching the ball, and I think RJ Harvey can do that. He's a shifty back, like you said.
He's also between the tackles, he's amazing. His breakaway run rate, he was top of the class in terms of like breakaway run rate. He's a beast.
He's also top of the class after yards after contact too.
Yeah,
it is elite some of the stuff that he put out there, and I'm just so excited for this guy to get out on the field and show us what we got.
Well, and that's what you want. You want somebody electric with the ball in their hand that can just make magic happen. So if he can just bounce off defenders, that's awesome. That's what somebody like Sean Payton is going to thrive with using an RJ Harvey.
Yeah, and that offense is sneaky good too. I'm bought into the Broncos offense, and I didn't think I'd be saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so since we're talking about the Broncos offense, what do y'all think about the Dobbins visit on Thursday, tomorrow, as we record this on the Wednesday?
It's more of a depth play to me. I don't think that he has the same talents as what RJ Harvey is. And RJ Harvey's the new toy, man. Like, you don't draft a Ferrari and just leave it in the garage, man. Like, that's just how it is. You don't go out there and get that elusive breakaway, that explosion, and then keep him on ice. So I think that, J.K. Dobbins, if he was to sign there, that he'd be a nice complimentary back. I don't think he is going to be the bell cow by any means. With the injury history and everything else, I don't see you giving that guy more than, 100 to maybe 75 to 100 touches tops, without breaking the budget on that. I think last year was a little bit more of an anomaly for him, staying healthy. So.
Yeah,
agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
so,
I got nothing more on that. That's good.
So, Mick, you said your number 3 is RJ Harvey as well?
No.
Or who is your number 3?
I have a different number 3.
All right, let's hear it. Who do you got?
So my number 3 is Travion Henderson. I love Travion. And maybe a year or two ago, he would have been probably RB1 back in last year's class, but he didn't come out. And I wasn't as high on him when he was a freshman, sophomore. I didn't think, because he would always get hurt because they would give him a bell cow role. But I think this last season they figured out how to use him, and he stayed healthy, and he put up, he's basically, I'm not going to compare him to Jahmyr Gibbs, but he's the new Jahmyr Gibbs. He's electric, and the breakaway speed, or the long speed I was referring to, is from Travion. If you watch his clips, once he hits the open field, DBs are not catching him. So all we need to do is get this dude in space. And if he has a clear path, he is gone. He's got JT long speed. He's got Ezekiel Elliott back in the day long speed. And that's what I love out of my running backs, guys that can just hit the crease and are gone. That's my favorite thing. That's how Jamar Chase puts up wild games, because he takes those slants and then no one can catch him. He's just gone. He takes the corner. I could see Travion doing that. And probably my number one favorite thing is, I don't think I've ever heard of a rookie running back as a better pass protector. I don't watch too much film, but when I listen to everyone on Twitter and all the film bros and then the analytics guys and even the scouts, they say he's the best pass blocker of any rookie running back that they've ever seen. So he's going to be down on third down backs. That is so valuable. He's going to be catching so many passes and then throw on, 10 to 12 carries a game. And I think he's going to be putting up good numbers. He's going to be an amazing PPR back to have in your lineup for a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm with you with Travion Henderson at number 3. I'm not worried about Ramondre Stevenson. I'm not worried about Antonio Gibson. I don't think Antonio Gibson is even going to be on this roster the rest of the season. If they don't trade him in camp, they'll probably be looking to trade him at some point during the season if another running back goes down or something like that. For me, Travion Henderson has been the guy since he was a freshman. I mean, ever since he was a freshman, he's just been dominating. Just like Slayton said, or no, not Slayton. I think you said in the Devy leagues. I mean, this kid. Yeah,
he's
awesome.
He's definitely a Devy darling for sure.
Yeah.
He was
and
one Judkins
of those guys. Kept him fresh. That worked out. I didn't understand the move for Judkins, but then when I watched it and I saw how it applied on the field, I was like, okay, this makes sense, because now you have 2 alphas. They're fresh. I mean, it's awesome. So I'm definitely excited to see how that's going to work out. Travion Henderson by year's end could be the top running back in this class if they're using him right.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Put him in Jahmyr Gibbs' role in the Lions, and what does that look like? It probably looks kind of close to Jahmyr Gibbs. Am I right? Maybe not as electric, but it would look pretty darn close.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So who we got as number 4 there, Slayton, since you're tricking us with some names that we didn't expect?
So my number 4 would definitely be Hendo, and a lot of it is, everybody that I've listened to, everybody that I've talked to has said the same thing, and he's more impressive what he does without the ball in his hands. And that is something that's resonated with me. It's going to be someone that's hard to keep off the field on third downs. The only reason why I moved him down past Harvey for me is that I'm a little bit more worried about Stevenson. And I feel like personally that they got Drake May out there to throw the ball. I don't think they're going to be running the ball as much as what they showed last year. I think they're going to be more pass heavy this year with the new acquires with Kyle Williams and Stephon Diggs and all those other pass weapons. They're showing that they want to use a passing offense. So that's the only reason why I have him down a little bit past Harvey. I think they both have a great opportunity to show what they have. I think they're both going to run on the field and get a lot of trot. But I don't think Ramondre Stevenson is dead. But with that being said, it's hard to take off a guy that does all the right things without the ball in his hands. So Hendo would be my number 4. And, yeah.
All right. Well, since we already talked about Hendo, all right, who do you got, Mick?
For number 4, I'm going to kind of agree with Slayton, and number 4 is going to be RJ Harvey for me. I think when it comes to RJ Harvey, we already talked about him, so I won't go into it, but I have him over some guys that are probably should. I mean, most Dynasty guys are going to take Junkins over Harvey. So the fact that we have Harvey shows that we kind of like production a little more, and I think Harvey is like set up for that. I don't want to go into any more details. So JR, who's your number 4?
So my number 4 is actually going to be Quinshon Judkins. For the simple fact that look who he's got as competition. I mean, he's got Jerome Ford. Now, I'm not snarking at Dylan Sampson. I love Dylan Sampson. But they took Quinshon Judkins here to be that guy. Quinshon Judkins showed when he was with Ole Miss, he was an alpha. He showed even when he was splitting carries with Hendo at Ohio State, he's an alpha. So I'm not gonna shy away from that. The Browns don't have much going on in their offense. Who's going to be the quarterback? I mean, yeah, Watson's got the money. They got Jerry Jeudy. He's old. He had an outlier season last year, which we were all waiting for Jerry Jeudy to have this when he was with Denver. It never happened.
I was completely out on Jerry Jeudy from the beginning.
Oh, wow. So you're like the one person I met that says they were out on Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy was a great route runner, but they have Deontay Johnson. So as far as like their passing options, they don't really have like great passing options. So that's why I feel like this is going to be more run. I mean, Quinshon Judkins could be the new Nick Chubb, and we like what we saw from Nick Chubb. We didn't really get a lot of passing from Nick Chubb, a lot of receptions. So for PPR, he wasn't that high. So that's why I have Judkins like at number 4 under Henderson, because Henderson just has better hands, I think. So for that reason, I've got Quinshon at number 4. So
I agree.
So it looks like RJ, y'all had RJ pulled up a little higher. So Slayton, who do you got? Who do you got as your number 5 right here?
Number 5, Scat Pack, baby.
Wow.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
sir.
Bro, out of left field.
I love this guy, man. He is an absolute tank, an absolute warrior. Maybe clinically insane, but I'm talking this guy is an absolute hammer. He damn near beat Texas by himself. He's just
look who's up.
But no, I think he was one of those guys that he's a truck and not a trailer, man. He was able to carry that ASU offense all season. He was that offense, yeah. he was that offense. Granted, I think he's going to split with Tyrone. That's no secret to me. But at the same time, I think they both are going to be great together. I would say more of a recent comp, or not a recent comp, but more of a comp for Scat Pack is like a Mike Allstott. Just a big guy, can run you over, can I mean, there's a lot to say about this guy that is just insane to watch him, his mentality. He's got just a crazy will to win, a crazy will to succeed. And if you watch any interview, any tape with this guy, you can see that he's a football player. I know that Maurice Jones-Drew pounds the table about this guy. He's just one of those guys that you won't be able to keep off the field. He'll initiate contact. I'm so excited for him. And with that offense, I think they're going to be a little bit more productive than Cleveland. And that's a lot of the reason why I have Judkins at 6 and not at 5, is that I think they're going to have a little bit more end zone carries and that type of stuff. And I think that without a doubt in my mind, that Scat Pack's going to be that goal line back. So I think there's going to be a lot more fruitful than what people think, and I think the Giants are going to be a low-key sleeper. They've really put the pieces together this offseason, and I think if they can get Dart on the same page, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch all these guys eat.
Okay.
I like Slayton. I like it. That's bold. And I love Scatterboo. And one thing he didn't even refer to is Scatterboo is probably one of the top 3 best pass catchers in this class. Like, everyone thinks of him as just a hammer grinding running back, but he is a legit pass catcher. He runs great routes. So that's just another route for him to score points. My only concern with Scatterboo is why I have him a little lower. I love Scatterboo, though. I want him on all my dynasty teams. He's just going around the range of like Jaden Higgins, Burden. Like, you're going to have to take him before you take those guys. So it's like, that's a reach on my part, because I'm going to take the receiver every time with the better draft capital. I can't take a guy in the 4th round when I have Jaden Higgins going like in the beginning of the 2nd round, or Burden's upside, or even Golden's around there. And a lot of people are lower on Golden. But don't get me wrong, I like Scatterboo. My only knock on him is he gives me Zach Moss vibes. Not entirely, but there's a little bit of a comp there, because Zach Moss also was pretty damn good in college. He rushed for a lot of yards. He broke a lot of tackles. But what did he run his 40 in? 4.65, 4.7? What did Scatterboo run his 40 in? Kind of the same thing, right? So you could see that when Zach Moss got to the NFL, because I like Zach Moss. I drafted him a lot on my dynasty teams, and you can see that the speed didn't add up. So he would only get 5 yards here, 5 yards there. He's a grinder. And I think Scatterboo has more athleticism because his high jump and his metrics and his agility. He for sure has more burst than Moss, but I don't see him like breaking away from guys and putting up those long runs. I think he's going to have to be a volume-based back. And being in the 4th round, that's kind of like 50-50. It's a toss-up to me whether he can get that volume being a 4th rounder.
Most definitely. My biggest thing is like, the speed's a little bit of an issue, but speed doesn't matter when he's running through your face. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the dude's an absolute dog. He's going to be that guy that can get you the 3-5 yards that you need on a 3rd down when it's 3rd and short. He's going to be that goal line, that goal line monster. So I really am so excited to see what he can do there.
Yeah, I mean, him and Tyrone Tracy are not that different of players.
No.
I mean, Tyrone Tracy is going to have the speed advantage, but like you talked about, Scatterboo is just he's underrated. He's very underrated. I think his ASU performance versus Texas was kind of like his coming out party for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
That put him on the big stage where people are actually watching an ASU game instead of just like clipping it to what SEC teams are playing right now, So that was good for him. The Giants are just still kind of figuring things out right now. So I'm with you. So having to have that kind of load and a high carry count he's gonna need that. But right now with Tyrone Tracy, I mean, and we can't forget about the veteran Devin Singletary there too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't just look past that, because every time we look past Singletary, he comes out and has a decent season, Yep. So that's going to be hard. I think Scatterboo is going to be one of these guys that it may be a 2026 stash. Because they're going to figure out what they have in Tracy, who had some really good signs last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Singletary's shouldn't be here next year. Scatterboo should easily move up and could be competing for the RB1 spot. I don't see why not.
I definitely think that Scatabo is also a locker room guy. From a lot of the rumblings that I hear, he's one of those locker room guys that everybody loves him. Everybody enjoys being around him. So I think that's going to carry volumes as well.
I could see that.
For sure. Yeah, because if they're looking to create a younger team, then Russell Wilson's not going to be the long-term answer. You just took Jackson Dart. Not. You got a young Malik Neighbors. You've got a young Tyrone Tracy. You got a young Cam Scatabo. I mean, they're going to be looking to build more young assets around this. So I don't think that they're gonna wait too long to start featuring. What did you call them? Scat Pack. I don't think they're gonna wait too long to feature Scat Pack. But no. Who? All right. So Mick, who's next on your list?
I'm on number 5 for me. We're gonna go back to Quinshon Judkins. So I can't have him slip down anymore, but. For me, I'm not a Quinshon guy. I like him. I see what the Browns did, and they took him, so he's going to get all the carries. He's going to get all the opportunity. But I don't think we should look past Dylan Sampson and the offense. Like, they're projecting that Judkins is going to be the 1-2 grinder, and then Dylan Sampson's not going to go anywhere. He led the SEC in rushing. They took him in the 4th round. He's going to get he's going to get third down role. So when I'm seeing Quinshon, he's young, he's explosive, he's legit. I do like him, but I don't see him getting a third down role. I don't see him getting many passes. And if the Browns offense isn't very good, where's the touchdowns going to be? So like, he's young, he's explosive, he's going to be around a long time. But the reason why I have like guys like Harvey over him is because I think Harvey's going to give you more production. Now, in terms of like my rankings, if Judkins is on the clock and Harvey's behind him, I would say to take Judkins because that's the right dynasty play. But what I would do is I would trade back, try to get capital, and then take Harvey. So it's not like my rankings for production are a different thing aside from my dynasty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So my next one on my list, I'm not gonna talk about too much more because you already talked about him, RJ Harvey. So he's who I have only because I think that he's gonna eat a lot. We talked about it already with Sean Payton's offense. So all right, so the last two. So Slate, what crazy surprise do you have for us? Because you've been just pulling everything you can out of a hat here. What's the next one?
So at 6, I have Judkins. Exactly what Mick said. I'm not sold that Judkins just wins this rollout from Sampson. If you look at their numbers and a lot of their prospect stuff, it was really, really close. And it's closer than what people would imagine. And I can't remember who I was listening to. It was probably a week or two ago, and they were talking about it. And they're like, who's to say that Judkins just wins outright? Because Sampson was as prolific in the SEC. Running the ball, I think he is somebody that could definitely make some noise as well. And they're about the same size. They do about the same thing. And I don't think Jerome Ford's dead. A lot of people keep saying, oh, Jerome Ford is gone. He's done. He's all this. But the dude has leached and been just a guy that has been thrown carry after carry after carry with that offense, and he's somebody that knows that offense. So I think that's going to be the fallback guy. Granted, I think that it's going to be more of a 3-headed monster, and who's to say that Nick Chubb doesn't come back? I mean, the dude's like squatting 900 pounds online just trying to show that he's ready to go. And to be honest with you, I think he might be ready to rock.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the Nick Chubb thing's going to happen back in Cleveland. No. It's kind of mean you're giving
wishful
him hope.
Thinking, but hey.
Yeah. No, Chubby, I don't think is coming back to Cleveland. But
I do think that with all that being said, Judkins does have one of the fastest 40s of those guys, which is surprising because it doesn't really show on tape. I think that Hendo has a better breakaway speed than Judkins, but somehow he pulled off a 40 a little bit faster.
Well, that's why they need to run 40s with pads because that's a totally different speed.
Yeah, that too. I think Judkins more of a hammer. I think he's going to be a great goal line back if they can get in the goal line and make some noise there. But yeah, I really like Judkins. He was a Debbie darling, good size. I think that he maybe hurt himself a little bit by going to Ohio State and not staying at Ole Miss. But I guess other people thought otherwise. So I'm excited to see what he does there. But yeah, Judkins would be 6 for me.
All right.
Well, who you got?
My number 6, we'll finally switch it up and talk about a new player. I've got KJ, Caleb Johnson, as number 6. I really like KJ. I think he got dinged a little bit on the 40 in the combine, but he, in terms of like the StatCast, he still has one of the top miles per hour runs. So it just takes the dude a little bit time to get going. And where did he go? He went to the perfect offense to where they are going to zone gap scheme him. So he is going to get to the outside and be able to build up speed. Like he literally fell in the best possible spot, maybe aside from the Browns or something else, to go there. So everything worked out for him. The NFL did tell us, though, that they didn't consider him a second-round pick, so that worries me a little bit that he did fall to the 3rd round. But then again, the Steelers saved him, and if he's explosive Najee Harris in the Najee Harris role, I think he's going to be pretty good. I just don't think he's quite as the pass catcher as Najee, so I think that'll be a little bit lower of a hit on him, but I think he's going to be an early 1-2 grinder that's going to churn out yards and be a really solid, probably RB2 for as long as he can be going.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've got Caleb Johnson in the same spot. And just because Caleb Johnson, he looked really awesome in college. And like you said, this is just such a great spot. How can you not like this spot? The Steelers' depth is really nice. The Steelers, Mike Tomlin knows how to use a running back like him. Okay, yeah. Look, I get Jaylen Warren. I keep hearing, oh man, what about Jaylen Warren? He's established. Yes, I get it. Okay, but Jaylen Warren is not going to stay around forever. Caleb Johnson can win this job easily. Jaylen Warren has a role to play. There's, you got DK Metcalf on this team, so you have one passing option. But who the heck is going to throw the ball? That's my question. Mason Rudolph? We tried the Rudolph experiment. That didn't work, okay? Will Howard,
baby! Let's go!
Kid's a rookie. Could he win the job? Yeah, maybe, whatever. Okay, sure. But look, at the end of the day, is there really any other passing threats on this team? No, because it starts at the quarterback position. Any Joe Blow can hand off the ball to a running back, so they're going to run the ball. And Mike Tomlin is a very, very good coach, probably one of the best that we'll say of all time when he's done, and he knows how his offense needs to run right now. I mean, there's lots of rumors right now that he's out there trying to make moves to better that offense. I mean, we've heard about, all this Aaron Rodgers stuff, which I'm over the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Count me out on anything and everything Aaron Rodgers.
I've been out for 3 years, man.
Hey,
in this saga, for the love of God.
I was in on Aaron Rodgers when he had Garrett Wilson coming in and he had Breece Hall, and I'm like, okay, good. Got lots of good weapons, but no. It all starts with quarterback, and that's why I think Caleb Johnson is going to eat in this offense, because him, Jaylen Warren, dude, they're just Mike Tomlin knows what to do, and he's going to handle business. So I'm with you, Mick. I think Caleb Johnson is perfect right here. This is right where he belongs. And I hope that he comes out and has that like rookie Najee season. But I don't want to compare him to Najee just because he was a Steeler, right? I think that's unfair to him. But I'm going to be looking at Caleb Johnson all year.
What's different? What's the difference between him and Junkins? Like, can you tell me? Like, same role, same age, same everything. I just don't understand why Junkins is in so much of a higher tier aside from the draft capital.
Because Caleb came from tight end U. That's why.
I think Junkins is just better. It's just a better talent overall.
Better talent, better strength of schedule there at OSU. I think he came from a much higher caliber schedule out there. I really think that the name value and the Debbie Darlingness is going to really capitalize on that name value, if you will. So that's one thing that I would note with a lot of our leagues is that, hey, if you notice these guys that are getting a huge name value, take them, because you can sell those guys to any of your guys on your league because they know that name. Where a Caleb Johnson is not going to have that same sentiment. Just like you were saying, like everybody's talking about Judkins. Why? When you could sell out of Judkins and get a Caleb Johnson for cheaper and have the same effect, you know, of course I'm going to take the
so
higher
much
guy
more in that
and
trade
be able
too.
to take that
Yeah.
trade, you know.
If
that's
if
something
you can
that I
take
always
that
look
Judkins
into.
like you're talking about and trade him for a Caleb Johnson and maybe a 27 first and get into that class early, bro, do
or
that all
second
day.
or anything, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we got some running backs coming next year that you can get in on, you know.
Yeah.
So, dude, yeah, if you can do that, if you're believing that KJ can be just every bit as Quinshon Judkins or better, bro, do that deal. That's something that our listeners and our viewers need to start looking at. How can I take one big name asset that isn't going to perform as well as this lighter asset and get more on top of that trade? I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yep.
Without
Well
a doubt.
said. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So I'm with you on that on the Caleb Johnson. All right. So last but not least, number 8. Who do you have as your
Wrong
number
7.
8?
7.
Or number 7? I'm sorry.
You're good.
So who do you have as your number 7?
7 would be KJ for me. He's a very smooth runner, but granted, I'm scared of anything that is not a tight end coming out of Iowa. I'll be honest with you. They crush on whatever tight end that they release, but I've never seen a fantastic runner come out of Iowa. So I'm excited to see what happens. He's a very smooth back, very patient, has got great vision, came into a perfect fit with the Steelers. You know, of course, like we were piggybacking off of that, Mike Tomlin knows how to use a running back. He knows how to scheme. He knows how to use these rookies. So I think that he's in a great spot there. They did acquire Kenny G, which is more of a pass-catching guy. I don't know what type of form or role that he's going to have in there. I do like Jalen Warren. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch there. But another big thing that I like about Caleb Johnson is we already know he looks great in black and gold. So let's go Steelers and see where he's at, man.
Yeah, he could show up in his Iowa uniform. They wouldn't know the difference.
Not a chance.
Mm-hmm. All right, my number 7, who we already talked about, is Scadaboo, and that's the reason why I have him after KJ is because I think KJ is a little more known factor and renowned. So I have, but both those guys are pretty dang close. So we already beat that horse. JR, who's your 7?
So my number 7 is the same. It's gonna be Jaden Blue. Or excuse me, not the same. It's gonna be Jaden Blue. Okay, only because. You're right. And I'll tell you why. So only because I feel that he showed enough when he was with Texas of what all he can do, how versatile he is. I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. The Cowboys signed Javonte Williams. Okay, I get it. They signed Miles Sanders. I ain't worried about Miles Sanders. Nobody's been worried about Miles Sanders in years. Okay. Javonte Williams, he's got to kind of reassert himself. From his rookie season coming out of UNC, he did pretty decent in Denver. He wasn't everything that we thought he was going to be. I get that. But Jaden Blue can literally do everything in my eyes. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Texas fan, but I did watch a lot of Texas Longhorn football. So I got to watch a lot of Jaden Blue. And he wasn't supposed to be the starter coming into the season. Okay. He took the job, he rolled with it, and he made a name for himself. So I think the Cowboys, they've proven to us in the past, they know how to utilize a running back. And I'm going to keep with that. Okay. They have a really good coach that knows how to run an offense. So I'm going to believe in Jaden Blue at my number 7 spot, because if I can get Jaden Blue like anywhere in the 3rd round, I'm going to jump on it, because I believe that he can win that job. The situation, they're going to be playing from behind, and you're not going to be wanting to throw the ball to Javonte Williams. I mean, Jaden Blue is going to be your option there. I'm sorry, he is. Unless Miles Sanders just starts popping steroids and becomes a whole new person, it's going to be Jaden Blue in my eyes in that offense.
Yep.
So I know that may be crazy, but
Jaden Blue just went at the 308 in my league, so that's pretty damn good value.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'd say that's really awesome value.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 8.
Number 8 for me, we're going to go with Jaden Blue, my friend.
Oh,
I definitely had him labeled out there. I think that there's a lot of smoke and fire behind the rumblings in camp that one of those guys, Williams or Sanders, is going to get cut. And I don't blame them. You know, realistically, they're older guys. Granted, they might be locker room guys or somebody to help, you know, build the younger guy up. But at the same time, I like Jaden Blue. He's super fast. He's got breakaway speed. He's a receiving back. I hope that he doesn't get placed in that change of pace type label. I think that might end up being the case because he's not big enough to block. Granted, he's not afraid of contact, which was something cool that I like to see about him. But he's a small guy. He's only like 196 pounds, something like that. So that does worry me. And the amount of workload that he got in college was not fantastic. So that the durability side of it makes me a little bit worried that we haven't seen the true numbers. But granted, if he's going to be a change of pace back, I think that he'll be all right with the durability issues and that type of stuff. You won't have to worry about ever dragging him out into the trenches and giving him 250 carries. That's not the type of guy he is. But, yeah, I definitely think that he is going to be a lot of fun to watch. He's got a great opportunity there with the Cowboys, and I think that he might make a big stink out there and just really make some noise.
man, you guys are spicy. I didn't have Jaden Blue in my top 8, so that's pretty good. But I do like Blue. I think the opportunity is good for him. I think Javonte is going to be that classic guy where they will play Javonte, as much as I hate to say it. But what I'm doing with Blue is if I get him at the 308, the minute he pops off, I'm kind of realizing he's probably not a long-term option, and I'm selling him right there.
Yep, sold.
I'm packaging him with something, and I'm trying to upgrade. But I do like Blue. He's fast, and he's also a good pass catcher, which I don't think you guys said. So he catches passes too, so he's going to be in there in third down. And Dak does check down. He doesn't run anymore, so I like it, JR. I like it.
Yeah, after Dak's injuries he's had, he's not going to take off and run.
No.
And I'm pretty sure even the big Jerry Jones has probably talked to him, hey, you're my guy. You got all my money. You just stop hurting yourself. All right. So guys like Jake Ferguson, Jaden Blue, those guys are going to be the check down darlings you're going to want.
Sir.
And you're right. The hands, man, like Jaden Blue is going to be very situational. I mean, I can see you giving the big guy Williams, giving him the the in between the tackle stuff, maybe the goal line stuff, which is valuable. Don't get me wrong. That's 6 points for a touchdown. That's valuable. But the PPR, the name of the game is receptions. Mm-hmm. So Jaden Blue's going to be the guy getting receptions, and then what he can do once he makes that reception. So that's why I think Jaden Blue is going to be the more valuable option here.
Mm-hmm. I like it. So my number 8 is Bashal Tootin. I'm a big Bashal Tootin guy. I don't care that he fumbles a lot. I think that can get corrected. And I even like that he's falling in rookie drafts right now because his first carry he fumbled. And then that was all over Twitter. It was great. Mm-hmm. So I get the Liam Cohen or Liam, like the whole comparison and him being the next Bucky. I don't really think that's going to come to fruition, but I still think he's the most electric back in the class. And ETN doesn't worry me anymore. I mean, ETN's yards per carry was 1 yard fully below Tank Bigsby. So I think ETN, as much as I love him, I don't know. He doesn't really bother me. And then Bigsby's kind of a wild card. So I think Tootin kind of has the floor wide open if he wants to take it and he doesn't fumble the damn ball. I think Cohen's going to want to have an electric guy out there because that was the offensive of the Bucks. So Bashal Tootin, I really like getting him in drafts. I haven't gotten him yet, and he's actually been one of my guys in this draft because after he ran that fast 40, everyone was thinking he was going to get drafted in the second round, and then he was going to be maybe a late first or early second round pick, and he's still fallen to the early third now after the fumble. So I like the upside of him. He's young, and I think he can, if he learns how to not fumble the damn ball, he could probably be a pretty good back in the league. What do you think?
I think NFL coaches are going to fix that problem. That's not going to be a long-term problem. Man, the only thing that really made me scary about Bashal Tootin is just the depth, man. Like, yeah, I was a huge fan of Tank coming out, and I was a huge fan of Travis Etienne. I still am a fan of Travis Etienne.
And that's a lot of the reason why I have Jaden Blue in front of him is because who puts more fear in your heart, Miles Sanders or Travis Etienne? I mean, I personally feel Etienne would put more fear in my heart, and I think Tank Bigsby is, as good as what Javonte Williams is now. I think as a prospect coming out, Javonte Williams was miles ahead, but now he's had a few injuries. He's slowed down. He's a little bit older. I think that that backfield is going to be a little bit heavier to climb than what Dallas is, but I can definitely see the path there. And, what Bashan Tootin was able to put on tape was very, 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 very cool to see. And I think that there is a great opportunity if he can beat out those guys, especially with that Liam Cohen offense. It's going to be a hot and heavy moving offense. I think they're going to score a lot of points if they can put it all together. I'm excited to see what happens, and I really think that Bashan Tootin would be a great pick there later in the draft if you've got some darts to throw.
Yeah, and our boy Eric over at Third and Teal, that's a Jaguars podcast. He agrees with you. He agrees with the Bashan Tootin take. So shout out to you, Eric. So I guess to close it out, I'm going to go with my number 8 being Dylan Sampson. Kind of for some of the reasons that we talked about earlier, because, Sampson could split with Judkins. We see how this works with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Mm-hmm. And I understand this isn't the same offense. I get it. I'm not ignorant to that. But Dylan Sampson's not bad. That dude's not a bad running back. No. They just happened to get a good deal on him later. So I'm not gonna turn away at that and say, oh, they have Judkins, Sampson's not gonna do it. No, I'm gonna value Sampson the same way that you would value a David Montgomery with Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery gets a lot of carries with Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs just happens to be the alpha. So imagine what Dylan Sampson could be if, we don't want ever this to happen on Kingmaker Sports, but if a player gets hurt, like Quinshon Judkins out for the season, Dylan Sampson, boom. That's not a next guy up situation. That's the guy is up now. Yeah. Like Dylan Sampson is amazing.
Yeah. And he was a coin flip for me between him and Jaden Blue. Honestly, like it was splitting hairs there at the end, trying to figure out who's going to go in there and who's going to have the better opportunity. But I think Sampson is the real deal. And I think that if he gets the opportunity to show what he can do on the field, without a lot of limitations and a lot of hindrance from other cast members there, I think that he is going to be something fun to watch, and he's going to be a lot different than what people think they are. My only biggest downfall on him is I think that Judkins and him are like the exact same back. There's no difference between them. I think that Jerome Ford's the different guy between the three. So that's where I'm like, one of these guys is not going to see the field, and I don't know who it is. And that's what scares me the most. But I think Sampson, given the chance and given the shot or the opportunity and, an injury rises, I think that he definitely will grab a hold of that and show everybody why he should have been higher up on the board for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. You guys are making me want to raise Dylan Sampson and draft him some more. You raised some good points. One injury away, and he's automatically RB2 right out of the gate. So,
yeah, look at the opportunity. We like to look at what is the path to production, right? So there's the path. Now, yes, it is going to be dependent on something happening.
A lot of storytelling there, for sure.
I do think that the Browns are going to try and feature both of these guys. Yes, Jerome Ford for this year, but long-term game, right? That's what Dynasty is. So we got to look to the future. Dylan Sampson and Quinshon Judkins are the future of that franchise. So there it is. Top 8 running backs in a super, super deep class. There's no way we could have gone top 5.
We listed 8 guys that have a chance to really make some noise. 8 guys out of this class that are, fantastic running backs. Yeah. That this is such the crown jewel of this year's draft. I'm so excited for these guys, and what a resurgence to have all these running backs coming back after having all that BS the previous years of like, oh, we don't want to pay running backs. They're a lost cause and all this stuff. And then Saquon comes out and shows that, hey, running backs aren't dead. And then to have a following class just like this to come out
and
there.
Derrick Henry still putting up numbers.
Juice it up, man.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And I hope that this is the year of the running back, that the running backs really show that, hey, we are a huge part of this, huge part of fantasy. Just super, super excited for these guys.
Yeah, because we haven't seen a class like this since the 2020 class with Jonathan Taylor and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though that was kind of that didn't work out for a lot of people. Huh?
That class busted for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, because you got to think, as soon as Clyde Edwards-Helaire went to the Chiefs, everybody was like, boom, 101. Of course, I was a Jonathan Taylor guy because I liked Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin. I was. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire did kind of scare a lot of people. And then looking at, like you said, Mick, a lot of these running backs didn't pan out the way we thought, but they had such huge hype around them, like these guys. And time will tell even with this class. As much as we love this 2025 class, people have been getting these 2025 picks for 2-3 years now because we knew what was down the pipeline coming to this draft. And here we are, rookie draft season. These are the running backs that are going to change teams that could end up winning championships. So that's what we want. That's what we want. Everybody here watching, listening, we want everybody here at Kingmaker Sports to be dynasty and fantasy football royalty. So this concludes our top series for our top 5 receivers, tight ends, running backs, and quarterbacks. Even though there weren't a lot of quarterbacks, hey, we tried. We tried to squeeze that lemon for all the juice it had in it. But that quarterback lemon was pretty sweet. I mean, pretty sour. So going forward, we will be starting different segments. Of course, we're going to stay up to date with all the camp news, how this affects our drafts, how this affects waivers, how this affects our guys that we drafted already. Like if you drafted RJ Harvey, and how is Dobbins going to affect that? If Dobbins signs, we'll talk about that. How is that going to sign? With maybe the potential Jonnu Smith trade going to the Steelers. How is that going to affect things? With Pat Freiermuth and everything else going forward. So we're going to keep you up to date with that on this. We're going to be doing weekly stuff. So we're going to have Slayton and Mick here long term. We're going to do the 3-piece like Blink-182. We're just going to keep rocking it. So everybody, before you leave out of here, like this video, subscribe it so that way you get notifications on this. So that way when we go live, all our videos we're going to try and go live. There'll be very few things that we're going to record. We want you to have the raw, uncut material. Hey, if we say something you don't like, hey, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. We'll feature it. We'll see. We'll talk about it. So, but that is all we have for today. We have our top 8 running backs in the books. Now, of course, this is pre-training camp. Okay, this is OTAs, pre-training camp. Once training camp starts, all this can change.
Out the window.
We could see Dylan Sampson go from my number 8, and he could go up to my number 2 if something crazy were to happen to one Quinshon Judkins, right? But that's what we talked about. So, but go ahead and keep coming back. Let everybody know. Of course, I know a lot of y'all are going to let them know after your rookie drafts because you don't want to let people know, hey, these are where I'm getting my information from. Hey, I get it. I used to be that way. Now, I don't care. If you take my guy, you take my guy. I got somebody else down the road. It is what it is. I don't mind paying up for guys I like. I literally saw – learn to pivot. There's always something else out there. All right? So, again, if you got any questions, let us know. But for everyone here at Kingmaker Sports, Slayton, Mick, myself, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.